Hi, I'm Dave Karger. Thanks for staying with me today on TCM. Our afternoon lineup continues now with a provocative drama made by three legendary talents, Elizabeth Taylor, Marlon Brando, and director John Huston. From 1967, it's Reflections in a Golden Eye. The film was adapted from a Southern Gothic novel by Carson McCullers that was inspired by real events. Marlon Brando plays an army major who presents a macho exterior to hide the fact that he's secretly gay. Elizabeth Taylor plays his neglected wife, who also has a secret. She's having an affair with another officer played by Brian Keith. And Keith is married to Julie Harris, a neurotic woman who's struggling to cope with problems of her own. Reflections in a Golden Eye was produced in 1967, which was a pivotal year in Hollywood. It was the year that essentially marked the end of the production code that had long dictated what could and could not be shown on screen. As you'll see, this is a movie that could not have been made a few years earlier. It became one of the first Hollywood films to deal directly with the subject of homosexuality, and it also features nudity. From the beginning, director John Huston had Elizabeth Taylor in mind to star, and she hoped to make this film with one of her closest friends, Montgomery Clift. But Clift's health was rapidly declining, and he died before the movie went into production. Huston considered other actors, including Richard Burton, but Taylor pushed instead for Marlon Brando to play her husband. Brando was hesitant at first, but as soon as he read the screenplay, he told Huston he wanted the part. From 1967, also with Zorro David and Robert Forster in his film debut, here is Reflections in a Golden Eye. Elizabeth Taylor made Reflections in a Golden Eye at a high point in her career. She had just given one of her most critically acclaimed performances in Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf, which would go on to win her the Oscar for Best Actress of 1966. It was Taylor's fifth nomination and second Oscar win. She also won at the beginning of the decade for Butterfield 8. Marlon Brando was also a five-time Oscar nominee at this point, although all of his nominations came in the 1950s, including his Best Actor win for On the Waterfront. Their director, John Huston, had already earned 12 Oscar nominations for writing, directing, and acting. He won twice in 1949 for writing and directing The Treasure of the Sierra Madre. Reflections in a Golden Eye was one of many literary adaptations Huston directed over the course of his career. It was adapted from a novel by Carson McCullers, and 1 year later, Alan Arkin gave an Oscar-nominated performance in an adaptation of McCullers' first novel, The Heart is a Lonely Hunter. Up next, Warren Beatty and Faye Dunaway play a legendary pair of outlaws in another film released in 1967.
Next on TCM, Bonnie and Clyde. Then, Rear Window. And later, Paper Moon. Coleman Domingo shoots for the stars tonight.